In this video, I want to look at different types of counting strategies that children may have to help solve these addition problems. The first method I want to look at is the counting on from first. When using this method, a child starts counting forward from the first addend of the problem. So let's look at an example. Jack had 3 toy cars. His friend gave him 4 more toy cars. How many does he have now? With counting strategies, children recognize that we don't necessarily need physical objects to construct things. Instead, this is usually done with our fingers. So in order to represent fingers, I'm going to use little tally marks. For this method, a child would start with this number 3. And then we know we need to count 4 more. So we would go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where they hold up 4 fingers, they realize they have counted 4 more. And so the answer is 7. So they started with 3, counted on 4 more, and got 7. The next method is counting on from larger, which is nearly identical to the counting on from first. Except that this time, the child, instead of starting with the first addend, starts with the larger of the two. Let's go back to the problem that we had looked at before. Jack had 3 toy cars. His friend gave him 4 more toy cars. How many does he have now? Using the counting on from first, they started with 3 and counted 4 higher. With this method, we start with 4 since it's the larger, and we need to count 3 higher. So the child would start at 4, 5, 6, 7, slowly raising 3 fingers to see that it is 7. For the counting on to method, a child begins with the smaller number given and counts up to the larger number. Let's look at an example of this. Kayla had 7 pencils. How many more would she need to have 13? So in this case, the child would start with the 7 and count up to 13, slowly raising fingers. So we go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I put a space here to represent this is one hand. And then we have one more on the other, and so we can see that we now have 6 fingers raised. So she would need to collect 6 more. For a counting down method, a child starts counting at the larger number given in the problem and then counts backwards. Lance had 12 pencils. He gave 4 pencils to Nancy. How many does he have left? In this case, we start with the number 12 and go backwards. 11, 10, 9, 8. At this point, the child knows that they've raised up 4 fingers, which is how many he gave away. And we've counted to 8, so he has 8 pencils left. The last counting strategy we'll look at is counting down to. In the counting down method, we count it down by a specific amount. The counting down to method, we count back until the smaller number is reached. Let's look at an example. Mary had 13 toy cars. She gave some to Paul. Then she had 8 toy cars left. How many did she give to Paul? For this, we start at 13 and count backwards until we reach 8. So we start at 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And we can see we have 5 fingers raised, so the answer is 5. She gave 5 toy cars to Paul.